new players for Swordburst 2. I understand often it is really difficult for you new players to figure out the best way to level up, and sometimes how clueless you may feel when you started playing a new game. However, in this video, I will be going through almost all of the important information you should know. This includes the leveling guide and the ways to certain mini-bosses and the main bosses. And I will be also going through the mechanics and the skills, and the economic system, and also many more. Also, for your information, you could just skip to parts in which you would see necessary for yourself. I would first go through the type of swords. There are currently 5 types of swords in the game. This includes the long swords, the great swords, the katana, the rapiers, and the spears. Which, whenever you join the game, the first weapon you get is always randomized between the 4 swords, excluding spears. Though some sword types may have subcategories, for instance, the long swords, they have subcategories such as daggers, hammers, axes, fan, and scythes, and also some unique ones such as the fist or even the cross. You know, as I was editing this, I swear to God, I have no idea what I was saying. I only had like 2 hours of sleep last night, and I don't even know why I'm so high that I decided to pull this off, so I'm gonna cut off a lot of things, a lot of the unnecessary informations. Yeah, we'll just get to the good parts, you know? Now I would like to talk about the skills and mechanics. There are a few skills which you would obtain when you first start the game. It can be accessed through your skill tab when you open your inventory. All the skills will cost your stamina, which is the blue bar below your health bar, if you haven't noticed yet, of course. Those skills are roll, sprint, and block. All 3 of these are quite self-explanatory. Roll allows you to roll forward, of course. Sprint allows you to run. And block just simply reduces the damage you receive by 75%. There are also 3 skills which you would unlock as you reach a certain level. This includes the base sword ability, which you unlock for all swords when you are level 22. The healing ability when you reach level 50. And the spirit dash ability when you reach level 70. The heal ability is also quite self-explanatory, as, of course, it heals just about like 30% of your max HP upon usage. Spirit Dash allows you to perform a long dash forward into the direction you are facing. This move can be used to evade various situations such as bosses and when you're low on health. Now for the sword skills. The long swords actually have 2 variants of skills. One when dual wielded, and the other when you use just one sword. The first variant of long sword skills, when it's only singularly wielded, called a sweeping strike. It launches a red slash that deals like just about like 300% of the damage for the long sword you're using. And the other variant of the skill for long swords is the whirlwind spin, in which it performs a 360-degree spin that deals 330% of the damage of your equipped sword. Next is downward smash, which is a skill for greatsword. It deals the damage buff of 275% for the sword currently equipped, followed up by the leaping slash, which is a katana skill, quite similar to a longsword skill actually, as it performs a horizontal slash that moves forward and does the damage buff of 330%. Next would be the rapier skill, piercing dash. Reminds me of Asuna actually. This skill actually launches the player forward and it does the damage buff of 320%. Lastly, for all the base sword skills, the spear skill, beam dash. Similar to piercing dash actually, but it kind of just teleports you forward, creating like this trail, and basically whatever entity that was in that trail will receive damage. And the damage multiplier of this skill is 280%. Now, of course, with all the level unlock skills presented, let's move on to the drop skills. So the drop skills includes Infinity Slash, Summon Tree, Summon Pistol, Cursed Enhancement, Swordstorm Chain, and Meteor Shot. Infinity Slash, which is sadly unobtainable, because it was from an event quite a few years back, it does 700% damage in total. Which this skill is a reference to Kirito's Starburst stream. Next, the Summon Tree. It actually used to be unobtainable until an update, which currently 3 mobs drops it. This includes 2 regular mobs from floor 4, the Birchmen and the Tree Horses, and also the floor A boss, Formac the Jungle Giant. This skill allows the player to place down a tree in which regens 6% of all nearby players' stamina per second, but it takes 45% of the player's stamina to place down. Now, followed up by the Summon Pistol, dropped by 4 mini-bosses from floor 11. The mini-bosses are Za, Ka, Da, and Ra. I seriously don't know how to make up the name of Za, but okay, I'll take it. This skill actually allows the player to summon a pistol which aims towards wherever they're facing, and does 255% of the user's sword damage. Next, the Curse Enhancement is actually one of the most useful skill drops in the game, because it's really helpful when you go to floors like floor 11 and floor 12, as you can actually do a lot of damage. So it is actually a drop from the floor 10 boss, Grim the Overseer, as the skill increases all damage the user deals by 220%. And by that, this actually includes all of your sword skills, your M1 skill, your M1 skill, basically your M1s as well, your summon pistol if you have it, and also a lot of the other skills as well. But Curse Enhancement, it drains the user's health by 3% over time. Second to last, we have Swordstorm Chain. It is dropped by the mini-boss Suspended Unborn from floor 12. It basically unleashes 5 swords from behind the user, which swings around the player for like a few seconds, and it deals like a good amount of damage to surrounding entities. Obviously, we'll be moving on to the last skill, Meteor Shot. It is dropped by currently the hardest boss in the game, the main boss in floor 12, Atheon, as it launches 3 meteors towards the entity, and it also aims, actually. It does 300% damage on the initial hit, on the first hit, and it does 5 more hit for burn damage, which is 50% each. So it sums up at the end to the total of 550%. God damn, that's some big damage! Now, of course, to get stronger, you have to figure out how to, well, it's not that hard. Like, you have to learn how upgrading and crafting works, and of course about the rarities. So when it comes to upgrading, no matter what level you are, no matter which floor you're on, always make sure that your gears, your items, are at its max output. Make sure that it is the best for you. There are actually currently 6 different rarities of items in the game, which includes the common, uncommon, rare, legendary, tributes, and burst. Common items, of course, the gray items in your inventory, and it can only be upgraded to +10, which means with common crystals, you can only upgrade it 10 times until it's maxed. Uncommon items, the green ones, they're pretty much like the common items. Also, you can only upgrade it 10 times, unless if it fails, and you upgrade it again, but you can only get +10 at the end. However, the rare items, on the other hand, it can be upgraded to +15. Then you got the legendaries and tributes. Both can be upgraded to plus 20. Whereas the burst items can be upgraded to plus 25. Remember this key detail. Every plus 1 upgrade for the swords, or like your items in general, well, not really armor because they really changed that. So when you upgrade armor, it doesn't really give that much increase it doesn't give you that much defense increase anymore. But for the swords, every time you successfully upgraded plus 1, it will give you a 5% damage increase accordingly to the base damage. Which means a fully upgraded common and uncommon sword can only do up to 50% more damage rather than the clean ones. Whereas the rares can do up to like 75%, the legendaries and tributes can go up to 100%, which means 200% damage when it's like maxed out. That's pretty good. And then this is where the crazy part comes in. The goddamn burst rarity? Damn, that's like 125% in damage boost. And of course, each rarity of items have their own respective upgrade crystals. Like the rare crystals, legendary and the legendary crystals, and also the burst crystals. What else? You also got the common crystals, all of those. And when you are dismantling an item of a certain rarity, you can get the upgrade crystal of that specific rarity. So, which means when you dismantle a common item, you will get a common crystal. But if you dismantle a legendary, you'll get a legendary crystal. But please don't ever do that. And the thing is, when you dismantle an upgraded sword, it gives you the amount in which it is upgraded, and plus the one base upgrade crystal of the sword you dismantled. For instance, if you were to ever dismantle a max out legendary, which I hope you don't, you can always trade it away. Or you could give it to me. I don't mind. Basically, by doing so, it would give you 21 legendary crystals in total. And once you reach floor 6, you can access the Crystal Forge, which you can actually craft upgrade crystals. The exchange rate of upgrade crystals are 5 uncommons for 1 rare, 5 rare for 1 legendary, 2 legendary upgrade crystals for 1 singular tribute upgrade crystal, and 5 legendary crystals for 1 burst crystal. With the access of the Crystal Forge, you can also craft burst weapons with the materials required. Burst weapons are the most powerful weapons for the respective levels. There are currently 3 tiers for the burst weapons. The first tier being level 250, the second tier is level 300, and the third tier is level 350, and those are strong. 51,000 damage? Damn. And don't forget one thing. Upgrade protection scrolls are very crucial and useful when you're upgrading higher tier items such as legendary tributes or burst. As like the UPS, upgrade protection scrolls, it guarantees the item to either stay the same level, the same upgrade level, even if it fails, because it will protect it, of course. Oh, of course. It was simply upgraded, so you don't really have to worry about downgrading. So yeah, it doesn't really matter if you have UPS. So if you have UPS, you're good, man. Now I would bring you the floor guides. In the floor guides, I will be showing you the ways to all of the bosses and mini bosses in the game, and also the recommended levels for each floor. Because it's not necessary for me to show you what mobs you should farm, because to be fair, you should just farm all of them. Just kill all of them, just slay all of them. You'll have fun, I guess. So enjoy seeing me run towards all of the bosses and mini bosses, I guess. Now, another part about the game is the drops. When it comes to drops, it is possible to get three different types of drops. Three different types of drops. The drops includes, of course, the most common Val drops, which is pretty much the money, which it drops on literally everything you kill. Then there are the item drops, which includes useful stuff such as upgrade crystals or upgrade protection scroll, or swords or armor. And then there are the skill drops. Uh, there are currently 5 rarities you can obtain from mobs. Uncommon, common, rare, legendary tributes. You can't really get burst except for one exception actually. Now that I think about it, yeah, 6 items, burst included, and commons and uncommons and rares are mostly from normal mobs. Occasionally, some bosses actually drops rares. This case is much more common in lower floors. Legendaries are mostly dropped from bosses of level 4 and above. And of course, now let's talk about the rarest drops in the game. The tribute drops. Only from floor 8 to floor 12, and good luck getting them because they're the rarest drops in the game. The percentage, the percentage of those drops goes from 0.002% to 0.008% depending on what entity you kill. So if you're killing a boss or a mini boss, or even if you're destroying like a specifically graded chest, like a diamond chest, or like what, a neon chest, ancient wood chest, ancient chest, you basically have higher chances of obtaining the tribute jobs. I will be listing all the drops from bosses and mini bosses with the respective chances and rarity. Now here's something not so related, but it will help out a little bit if you feel like your sword is looking really basic. Now, if you have enough Robux or like some extra Robux to spend on the game, maybe you could like try rolling for an aura in like the burst store, which you can access just by pressing E and then just press on burst store. Although most of the time you actually might not get like the cosmetic you want. But there are also other items in the burst store which gives you decent buffs when you're at lower level. Like the Halo ring, I think it gives like 10% health or stamina regen. I can't remember, but you could always check it out if you think it's necessary. Now, let's talk about the buffs and debuffs of items. So, for some items of higher levels, you can actually get buffs and debuffs, although it's just mostly additional buffs. Basically, those buffs are just extra stamina and health regeneration. So if you think you are quite weak against the mobs, try grinding for like the items, which would give you more stamina and health regeneration. However, there are certain items, I don't know why, it's just so questionable that it decreases your stamina and health regen. But at most, I think it's like -2 or like -3%. So it really isn't a big deal. But if you're grinding from level 1 to like level, let's see, to like level 60, like all the way up to like floor 7, you should try getting items and shields that gives you more defense and gives you more stamina and health regen. Like those will help out a lot. Lastly, I don't think I can fit a lot more things in. I would like to talk about the market and economies. So, it is actually quite an important aspect of the game. Trading. Trading is very crucial. It's a very crucial feature because, of course, it simply allows you to get what you want. Whether or not if it's like an aura, a cosmetic, a specific sword, or upgrading materials, you can basically always find people to trade with all over the place. Of course, you may think, oh, if I get a bunch of if I get like a bunch of Vels, I'll be rich because that's a currency, right? You're wrong. In the Swordburst 2 market, the most valuable currency actually isn't the Vels. They're actually not so valuable. Well, they kind of are now because of burst and upgrading subs, I guess. But the most used currencies are actually items, and those items are the OMLs, or you could call it the old max legendaries. The OMLs are basically all the legendary swords from floor 9, such as Life's Limit, Suspension, Oblivion, Ormia, and so on. But this does not include Chaos Playmail. A lot of people don't actually accept Chaos. I don't know why. In the game, actually, most people would often trade high value items for Omax legendaries, mainly because of its like value. It's more like a still currency. It's more like just. It's more than an item. It's more like a trading currency in the game. And another terminology that people use is NMLs, which refers to new max legendaries, mainly from floor 11. Another term that people actually use is the OCL, Oakling legendaries, which are basically just floor 9 legendaries. Like just clean floor 9 legendaries, unupgraded, just nothing. Like just a legendary freshly dropped from whoever. However, with all of those, people use OMLs to trade more than any other subs. Well, here's some funny exchange rates. One OML often worth around 60 to 70 legendary upgrade crystals. Mostly on the average of like 64, 65. Now, if you're wondering, like, why is that the case? Well, I don't even know. That's just how it is. I'll just take it. I mean, sure, why not? It's free LCs. And OCLs, they're pretty much like 30 to like 35 at most, I guess. But also, if you're like wondering, or if you want to figure out how to get richer and richer in OMLs or values, very simple. Once you get to a higher level, and once you reach certain floors, you could always farm for the drops, which have really high demands. such as like crafting materials for burst weapons, like some legendaries from floor 10, some legendaries from floor 11, and a bunch of legendaries from floor 12 actually. Well, I'm pretty sure the lowest like burst upgrade weapon goes for like 3 OMLs or something. At most, like, I don't know, some people even pay like 20 OMLs for an item. That's just how it is. It really depends on the seller, the buyer, and the items. Yeah. It's just really funny. Well, at the end of this video, I would like to give you guys some tips and tricks. So, when you're playing this game, what I really recommend you to do is don't try to rush it. Take your time, like, just enjoy the flow. If you have friends to play with your friends. Get them to play the game. Like get them to like get mad over you for forgetting a drop they won, you know? And if you don't have friends in Swordburst 2, go make some. Most of the Swordburst 2 community member, I can say they're quite friendly, I guess. But I don't really interact. I'm socially awkward. The next tip is when it comes to trading, don't take L trades. At least take fair trades or win trades. And also, you can check the Swordburst 2 fandom wiki if you want to know more about the values of items and other information. Also, if when you're too low level to farm something, whether or not if it's a boss or like a floor, don't force it. Come back when you're stronger. The floor will not disappear. Take no rush. And at last, at the end of the day, I just want to say thank you for watching. And enjoy the game, enjoy the grind. Have fun, I guess. Have a great day, yo.